The New York Times is mounting a propaganda campaign on behalf of a self-described Trump voter insurrectionist. Now, this is the same paper that cheered Ashley Babbitt's death, but this same paper is weeping for Ray Epps because people have been mean to him online? It's almost like they're trying to cover something up.
After having to pay $787 million in a defamation suit against Dominion Voting Systems, legal woes for Fox News are far from over. Even after firing host Tucker Carlson for his involvement in the allegations named in the Dominion suit, Fox is facing another defamation suit over things Tucker said. This time, Ray Epps is threatening to sue. If you're not familiar with Ray Epps, you must not have been a fan of Tucker's show, because he brought this guy up a lot. Epps was there at the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. He's not denying that. But Tucker repeatedly pushed a conspiracy theory that Epps was there as an anti-Trump government agent who sought to make Trump and his supporters look bad and to encourage the rioters/protesters/tourists to engage in illegal activity when they apparently would not have done so otherwise.
Now, in a lot of ways, that's the strangest video to emerge from January 6th. We played it several times in this show. Quote, "We need to go into the Capitol," Ray Epps tells the crowd. He says it repeatedly. He's so emphatic about it, encouraging other people to commit a crime, that the crowd around him decides he must be a federal agent. They began chanting, as you just heard, "Fed, Fed!" So shortly after that video surfaced, the FBI placed Ray Epps on a list of people wanted for questioning, and they released it to the public. And you can understand why they did that. According to the Justice Department, what Ray Epps did on that video is a federal crime. Others who have done that are in prison or facing long terms in prison. But no charges have ever been filed against Ray Epps, despite the fact there's no question he did it, because once more, it's on tape. That's very strange. It just is. And we don't care how many people call us names for pointing that out. It is strange. And we'd like an answer to what the heck is going on. Now, we've asked Ray Epps on this show repeatedly to explain why he thinks he has escaped prosecution. And we'll ask him once again tonight, and we will keep asking, because we think it is a very obvious and important question that gets to the heart of what is this exactly. But it's amazing how little Democrats want to hear about this.
On January 5th, Epps did encourage a march on the Capitol, but he specified that it should be peaceful.
Tomorrow, we need to go into the Capitol! Into the Capitol! Peacefully! Fed!
And on the 6th, while Epps did breach the police barriers, he did not himself set foot inside the Capitol. According to video footage, he appeared to be concerned when the protest turned violent. But according to Tucker, Epps was highly involved in orchestrating the whole thing. The only real, albeit weak, evidence there is to support this claim is a text that Epps sent saying that he helped orchestrate the movement of people that day. That doesn't necessarily mean that he was actively or integrally involved in organizing the whole event.
Now, buried near the end of the New York Times piece, there's a hint. We find this line, quote, "Mr. Epps also said he regretted sending a text to his nephew well after the violence had erupted, in which he discussed how he helped orchestrate the movements of people who were leaving Mr. Trump's speech near the White House by pointing them in the direction of the Capitol." Really?
There's also an unreliable witness involved who admits to telling right-wing reporters a different story of events than the one he told prosecutors under oath. During the federal investigation into the insurrection, Epps did sit down with investigators to discuss his involvement. He confirmed that apart from serving in the U.S. Marine Corps, he has never worked for the government and was not working as a government agent on January 6th. The case against him is still open, so prosecutors could choose to pursue charges against Epps, but for now they haven't. They seem to be focusing their efforts on those who actually breached the Capitol that day, which seems reasonable enough. But the lack of charges against Epps was all the confirmation that Tucker needed to keep pushing his own unfounded claims. On top of that, Epps and his wife had sold their business and ranch and gone into hiding. Tucker explained this away as the government protecting Epps because he's one of them. In reality, according to Epps, he and his wife went into hiding because of Tucker. They were getting death threats in direct response to Tucker Carlson repeatedly calling him a covert anti-Trump government agent on national television and publicly calling for his arrest. But the thing that ultimately did Fox News in with the Dominion case was evidence that proved that Fox News hosts and executives, including Tucker Carlson, knew that the things they were reporting to the public were false and or unproven at the time of reporting. A similar strategy and similar evidence will be needed here in order for a suit from Ebbs to be successful against Fox. Ebbs has already issued a cease and desist against Fox and demanded a public apology, but it wasn't until the network ignored him that he sought to take further legal action. It's a strange state of affairs when a lack of evidence is considered to be enough evidence to publicly call for someone's arrest. Ebbs didn't breach the Capitol, but he was there. Again, he's not denying his involvement in the insurrection, and he still may be prosecuted for his involvement. But the fact that Tucker was able to convince his viewers that this man was a government agent without having any evidence to point to is unsettling, but it's no longer surprising. People were sending Ebbs death threats because they believed him to be a fraud and a Fed, because that's what Tucker Carlson told them. And they believed him, apparently without question, because even asking the most basic of questions would have led someone to the conclusion that the evidence against Ebbs is, in fact, inconclusive. I'm still baffled by the fact that Fox News still has viewers, and that Tucker Carlson still has supporters despite the mountain of evidence that did actually prove in a court of law that they knowingly and repeatedly lied to their audience for years. And honestly, I don't think I'll ever not be baffled by it. Maybe that's my own misguided hope in humanity, but I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt in the sense that I don't think most people are evil or hateful. I don't think most people want to be angry or afraid all the time. They just are. And while I certainly don't mean to absolve them of any personal responsibility here, maybe it's not entirely their fault that they are the way they are. Leftists know, maybe more than any other group, that people can often fall victim to societal structures and expectations without even realizing what's happening. I was just watching a movie the other day, I can't remember what it's called, and it delved into conspiratorial people and how they end up that way, and one of the characters said something to the effect of, it's not that they're not smart, it's that they are smart and they're creative and they're expressive, but they don't have any healthy or creative or productive outlets for any of it. So it gets redirected into conspiratorial thinking and the like. Couple that with insular communities, a poor education system, etc., we shouldn't be surprised that people fall for the things people like Tucker Carlson say. But it is validating and good to see Tucker and his network and others like them held accountable for the lies they knowingly spread. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like and subscribe to the channel, and be sure to follow me on all the socials.